New York City is the greatest city in the world. Culturally rich, ethnically diverse, it is a true melting pot where traditions and trends are created. People move here from all over the world to follow their dreams. From the tip of Staten Island to the top of the Bronx and everywhere in between, you will find entrepreneurs on every street corner. These are their New York stories.
My name is Peter LeNoble. I'm president of LeNoble Lumber Company, located here in Long Island City. LeNoble Lumber is a major supplier of lumber and building materials to the metropolitan tri-state area. And this is my New York story.
The first time I saw you guys, I was amazed by how enormous the warehouse is and how it went on and on and on. And yet, what's also fascinating to me is we had written a story not that long ago that you guys had started in New York, West 56th Street, I think I saw outside. And I'm pointing to you, Peter, because your dad, LeNoble, Peter LeNoble. Tell us a little bit about how your company got started, how the company got started.
Well, 1965, my father decided to strike out on his own. He went out, he got a storefront, a station wagon, the telephone, and went into business.
In Manhattan. This was all in Manhattan.
On 52nd Street in what used to be known as Hell's Kitchen.
Yes.
His niche industry, or the industry that his uncle considered the niche industry, was the TV and motion picture trade. So through his hard work and work ethic, he built a very small little entity into a little bit of a larger entity. I think the business lost money one year in 1991, which is a pretty amazing record.
That is pretty amazing.
But for the first years until maybe a decade ago, the film and television industry was always very cyclical.
Right.
And it always different. As Peter was saying, it was big movies for a while, commercials for a while. Then the big movies started to go down, and it was the mid-sized movies. Why these things happen, who knows? So it was always very cyclical. It really changed with the implementation of the film tax credit in New York in 2004. And that's when a lot more TV started to come here, and it really started to stabilize.
I'm so fascinated with this relationship. So tell me how everybody came involved. You came from a different family business, but yet in the lumber business.
We're related.
You're related.
We don't admit that too often.
I'm sorry. I see.
And
Even
they're
I'm
related.
confused. You guys, right? Brother-in-laws.
That's
right.
Correct.
Peter's married to my sister.
Peter's. Okay.
To
Right.
back up early on, Peter's father, Paul, grew up in the same house as my father did, as cousins.
So what was it that brought everybody together?
Well, first, before I came to join LeNoble, Matthew joined LeNoble. What was the year?
I joined in 1990. And I had no relationship with the lumber business at all.
Right. You have a legal background.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So, how did you come in, if you will, to the family business?
I know Peter basically since I'm 12.
Since you're 12.
Because Peter and my sister were the same year they know each other since 7th grade.
So in 1997, I met with Peter's dad, Peter and Matthew, and we decided, I was working with my family lumber business, and we decided to join forces. So we felt that we would be stronger together as opposed to being two separate companies fighting for the same business.
And in all seriousness, I mean, I think this is a really poignant moment because there was obviously, you're both on a competitive track, you're in similar lanes, if you will.
You have to be a risk taker.
You have to look ahead. If you stay the same and don't grow your business, you won't be in business. By me joining, we were able to diversify the company more, so we didn't live and die by the movie and television industry. I was selling other industries as well.
You both came with other industries, ancillary businesses, or you had ideas about being able to grow in other areas? I'm wondering if you had a running start.
At that point, we were similar businesses, but the LeNoble part of the business was more focused on the movie and television industry, and I was focused on other areas of the business, looking to get back into the movie and television industry.
we realized that we needed to get into other areas because you don't know from month to month or year to year whether that industry is going to be strong. So Mark brought a lot to the table of other industries we hadn't been servicing and
give
other
me an
customers. Fine art, packing and crating. You wouldn't think that that's a whole industry, but for all these people who are buying art from Sotheby's or Christie's or the major museums in their packing departments, they have to crate these pieces of art,
It's become
and
a
it's a
huge
whole
business
it's
we've
a whole
talked about.
industry.
And so what are your, I guess, the different sectors that you guys focus on today? Entertainment, culture?
Well, we sell the entertainment for the movie and television industry. We also sell the, as Matthew said, the fine art packing industry, where they want the highest grades of lumber. We sell all the museums and department stores. We're involved. We've expanded our business into the architectural woodworking business.
And when you joined forces, how did you all figure out, what was that process in figuring out who was doing what? Were there kind of like a structure? Did you spend a lot of time thinking about it beforehand? You said, well, we'll just see how it works.
I think every day we figure it out. We come to work every day with the idea that we don't know what's going to happen, but we've been doing it so long that we've learned to prepare. If a problem comes up, for example, we can, instead of anybody making a unilateral decision saying, well, that's your area, the 3 of us or the 5 of us, including our children, will come into the room for however long it takes and take it around.
So in the last 10 years since we've taken over the business, all of our decisions are by consensus. We've never had to vote on anything.
Never.
No.
Peter and I agree with what he just said.
But
Well, that's it. I mean, we don't always agree. I mean, we
what do you
bring
do
different.
when that comes? Because that's a very common
we
thing,
talk
right?
it out.
Like you present your point of view, and everybody has a
And then,
moment.
if,
so
and
to
then if
speak?
there is some difference of opinion, we work it out before the end of the meeting. And whatever decision is made, the other 2 will support.
Anyone can start a family business or a friend business. I think the hardest challenge is generational, when you have succession from one generation to the next. I mean, Paul, it was himself.
Right.
Yeah, he confided in his wife, but he made all of the decisions. And then we started piping in our, ideas to him. And then when it was passed on to us, that's a big challenge. We have to make the decisions now. But
So
I think it's worked out very well.
Now, who do you turn to if you guys feel like you need an outside perspective? Not that.
That's a good question. I think we mostly lean on each other.
When you have 3, you don't need the outside as much because 3 people who come at things from different perspectives. So we're each other's consigliere, as you say. If you're a sole proprietor, you need that. You need someone else to bounce things off of. But we bounce things off of ourselves and our employees. We have some great salespeople and great employees who ran their own businesses, who were presidents or owners of businesses. So we bounce things off of them as well. It's one of the things. The people at the company is what make the company.
But we've been very fortunate that we've been able to build a team of people, like Matt said, were owners of their own companies, were presidents of their own companies, and just felt that it'd be better for them to join with us. And I think it says a lot about how the company treats people. We have almost no turnover whatsoever. It's almost like being a conductor of a wonderful orchestra. You're not playing the instrument anymore, but you're conducting all these fantastic, wonderful, talented salespeople,
nice
purchasing agents, office managers, accounting department, and you're just overseeing it, and that's why we sit in the room like you saw, with no office walls. Some people say they have an open door policy. We don't have a door.
So if somebody's coming to you and asking for advice, and they're thinking about diversifying their company because they're seeing cycles, what advice would you give them for planning, expansion, thinking about how to grow, stay true to your brand, but yet extend the brand through an organic, new avenue?
Well, I think first you have to look inward and see what you do well. See what you do well, see what you don't do well. This company was built on service and quality material. So because of the movie and television industry, it's all so service intensive. So we do the best we can to get material quickly to our customers. We were built on service. So if we find other areas or other industries that need that service, that need that quality, and we have the excess capacity on our trucks, it fits in well to that mode.
You know, there's once in a while, like a parent, you have to say no.
Yeah.
Or that, you know, and this is the reason why. And we think, but we're always open to listen to new opportunities. And when you see a trend where people are asking for a product line more than once, twice, three times, you say something, maybe we should investigate that. Who else is in it? You know, what are the barriers to entry? How much do we have to invest? Can we do it within these facilities? Is there money to be made in this product? And does it fit with what we want to, how we want to represent our business?
There are things, however, that happen, and I'm curious. In your career, tell us, or tell me about a challenge that you've had with a customer, and how you resolved it, and really what you learned from it.
If a customer receives a product that was damaged during transporting it, or we just, of our tens of thousands of SKUs, we happen to put the wrong SKU on the truck, and they need that component today. It's not like, oh, I'm sorry, or ignore the call. It's jump on it, how do we solve the problem?
As it grows bigger, it becomes a little more difficult to keep that personal relationship going, but that's our aim, to service our customers, but also to have a business where people want to be here and do a good job. And I don't think you can ask for more than that out of a career.
I don't think so either. I think you guys are a total inspiration. I mean, it starts from the top. Not every day is, as you said, it's not a perfect day. There are ups and downs, but thank you for sharing your story, because it's really, I think, a beautiful story and a remarkable story. And I couldn't figure out online and everything I was trying to read how you all were connected. And the fact that you all, started from here and are here, and you're on your third generation, you're going to go to your fourth generation at some point soon. I applaud you. So thank you so much. This is great. Thank you. Thank you.
My name is Greg Peters Monsees. I'm the president of Putnam Rolling Ladder Company. We've been around since 1905. We're presently in our factory in Bushwick, Brooklyn. And this is my New York story.
Greg. No, I'm like, my mind is racing with 1,000 different questions,
Right.
because I'm overwhelmed with just the aura of where we're sitting. We're in your manufacturing
Right, in
plant
Bushwick.
in Bushwick.
Right.
And you guys have been manufacturing here.
For way before my time, which is 1980, which is 36 years that I know about.
That
So
you
it's
know
been
about.
way before that. So
Your company is 112 years old?
115, 112, 1905.
1905.
So my father became president in 1950, and he worked until the day he died. In 2009, he was here for 63 years, and he was president for 59 years. He worked on Friday, and he died on Monday. So I worked for him for 29 years and became president in 2009. Now my son is working with me, so.
So your aunt had worked for
Mr. Putnam.
Mr. Putnam.
Right. She was a single gal.
Do you remember her?
Yes, I do, very much.
Tell me about her, because she sounds
She was a
quite extraordinary.
businesswoman. She was a businesswoman, and she was the bookkeeper. And so she knew a good deal.
Yeah.
And when Mr. Putnam got old enough to sell, she pulled the family together, including my father.
That's
and
his
bought-
sister?
That's his aunt, my great aunt.
Your great aunt.
Right,
Okay.
right.
So you identified the fact that she was really a pioneering individual,
Right.
a businesswoman,
Right.
and got the family together
Right.
at a time, 46, did you say?
1946. My father came home from World War II and started working at Putnam, and he stayed from 1946 to the day he died at Putnam.
And yet you were saying that you didn't even really step foot here? Was it that your dad didn't want you to come? Not that he didn't want you to.
We
What
were
was the
always
philosophy?
told to do our own career, and the family business was not a fallback position at all. Only when another relative was retiring did he come and ask me in 1980 to join the firm. Yeah. And I worked for him. I didn't work with him.
Okay.
I worked
Talk to
for
me about
him.
that.
Well, it was his way, and that's just the way he was.
In working in that environment, in the way that you were structured, what did you take away from his management style, his leadership style, how he ran your company, and think about outside of working with or working for, what do you then translate to your son?
Well, I just didn't want to repeat that with my son, and I bent over backwards, I think, not to. And with his accounting degree, he takes care of all the finances and check writing and billing, and he's really good. I've tried to step back and resign as president several times at this point, and the board of directors has said no. He's like 31 at the moment, and I think he's a little bit too young, but I think he's ready, and I think he has the ability, really.
How has technology changed your business?
I had read that 1,000 people a day were getting on the internet, and I said, we really should get on the internet. So I called someone, and we worked together and put our catalog on the internet.
How are you evolving your business as certain parts are, certain elements of your business changing or going away or decreasing? How do you look at evolving your products, or what decisions do you make as the head of the organization?
It's just supplying what is wanted. If we have 13 different hardwoods, so we have a hardwood for you, whatever it is. If it's unfinished, we have unfinished. If it's clear finished, you want a stain on it, you want to send us a stain with a sample, we'll match it. If you want brass-plated hardware, chrome-plated, pewter, we're going to make the latter one at a time. We're in a niche that Mexico or Japan or anybody else is not going to be taking it from us, because we're in a niche one at a time, custom made.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what is it that keeps you going?
The tradition of it.
Tradition.
Yeah. That it would be really bad to break the tradition.
Yes, indeed, because you are, how do you...
We're an institution in New York. We're an institution in the United States.
So, you were talking before about Dad was a tough guy and ran the business with an iron fist, it sounds like. As you watched him, outside of the reporting structure, if you will, did you learn about yourself? Like, he was a great salesman and you realized, I really hate this, or...
Actually, I think I was a better salesman than him. I would spend more time with the customers, and he would push when the customers on me. I think he realized that I was better with the customers and not rushing them. When a customer came in, he would want me to wait on them. So he did see that.
And do you feel like you mentioned before that you would like to retire?
I'd like to retire. I usually, during the recession, to save money, instead of letting anybody go, I started to take Fridays off. And I really like that. So we've continued that. What
tips or what measures did you take as a contingency that you were able to not only save money, but maybe it led you on a smarter road or a more efficient road, or you realized that you were doing something you really didn't need to do?
Well, we looked at it. I remember from my father that there was a downturn, and I said, well, maybe we should do less advertising. He said, no, you should do more advertising at this point.
Gain market share. Because so many people stop advertising.
Yes,
you can have more
to
dominant.
save money, but
Yes.
it compounds itself. So Advertising we've never let go on or relinquished. And just, we didn't want to let any employees go. Now, if an employee left, we wouldn't replace them. That's one thing. And then I started to take off Fridays to save money. But, you know, a 2-for-1 sale is not going to work in our business, you know, so.
So Greg, it's almost like a candy store of all these great like old machineries and fabulous, I don't even know, all the different things that are here, but I would love, can we walk around?
Sure. So the process starts here with the lumber coming in.
Okay.
All hardwoods.
And it's rounded edge, I mean, it comes...
It's rounded, smooth, 4 sides. It's cut. We, of course, have to cut it to length.
So what type of woods do you use? You say, I know it's all online, but...
Our standard is red oak, but we have ash, beech, birch, maple, cherry, walnut, teak, Anna Gray, African mahogany.
How long does it take from the stage here to completion?
It's about 4 to 6 weeks, and it's not. That's a very low number at this point because we're efficient at the moment, and we're not overwhelmed with orders. We've been to 6 to 8 weeks, 8 to 12 at times. This is a special machine that drills the steps, 2 holes on each side at the same time. At this location is where the side rails are cut to length and grooved for the steps.
Oh, wow. I feel like your dad is very much here with us right now in terms of how you described him. Like this intensely systematic,
Yes.
organized.
Right.
It's like we're going from station to station to station.
Right.
There's a very
Customer.
specific process.
Right.
And you don't deviate. I mean,
No, we don't deviate.
right. I see this. So we were talking about...
Each one is done custom, one at a time, and each one is totally different. It's a process.
It's a process that
Doesn't deviate.
Doesn't deviate.
No.
It works. It's been
It
in
works,
place
yes.
for 100 some odd years.
Yes.
And
There's no need to change it.
there's no need to change it.
So this is assembly at this point, and the steps are put into the side rails with the top dowel. Go ahead, Sean. This is Sean, our foreman.
Now, one thing I was actually thinking about, the gentleman that were
Was cutting.
cutting the
Bogdan.
grooves.
Yeah.
Do you have, because this is a craftsmanship, fine art, are family members, I mean, have you had folks that have, like your family, you're
Right.
now on your
We
third
try-
generation. I'm wondering
in
if
the
these
shop we try to keep family members, not family members. The office is one thing, but you
shop.
get into trouble sometimes.
That-
with,
okay, no, I
with
didn't know.
family members.
So how many do you produce a day on average, do you
Well,
think?
Sean has done 12,
12.
and 15 is his record.
Yes.
But speed is not the important thing.
No.
Accuracy and quality is more.
Yes.
That's the first time I've heard that number.
Well, you're not happy with that number.
No, it's quite all right, but I'm not interested in that number.
Yeah.
That's not a number that I'm looking at or looking for. I'm interested in doing it right,
Right.
and having the customer pleased with the final product. This is a finished product. This one has brass-plated hardware on the top and the horizontal brackets, and the rollers, which capture the track. You can't get it off. The hook is used if you're going to use the ladder from one area to the other, and you need to hook it off. The ladder pulls out for use,
Oh,
and then when you're not using it, it pushes in straight up and down. to conserve space. This one also has rubber in the steps, which is another option for you.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
It's red oak with a clear finish.
Is it heavy?
It's very heavy.
Can I-
This is a very tall ladder.
It's very heavy. Wow.
But
How
you
much
just
does
have to
weigh?
lift it up a little bit. It's probably about 45 pounds. You have to
No.
lift it up and you pull it out for use. But the great advantage of these ladders is that they push in straight up and down when you're not using it to conserve space.
Greg, this has been fabulous.
Thank you for coming.
Thank
Thank
you. Mwah. I really appreciate you sharing your family's history with us. I've learned a lot.
Thank you
And
very
it's
much.
really been a fabulous journey. And I really, I applaud you for sticking through, staying the course during good times and bad.
Right.
And it is a really important slice of history
Thank
that
you.
New York gets
Thanks
to be
for
able
coming.
to keep thanks to you.
You're
and your
welcome
family.
anytime.
Really appreciate it. Thank you. Mwah.